defenders, I think, like. There's always just that active red line defenders, I think, like. There's always just that active red line defenders, I think, like.
People deluded, I'm back again.
Come on, Ian. Man. Come on.
Thank you very much for that, Ian Wright. A guy can take it from here. People deluded. I'm back again. Appreciative to you lot tuned in, whether you're on Twitter, Twitch, or YouTube. Make sure you're following on all the socials. Information's in the description. But all you got to do is type in Deluded Gooner 04, Deluded Gooner, and the thing will find itself, people. So yeah, big up you lot. Hope you've all had a great weekend. Hope Monday has started off in the best of fashion to you lot. With it being the last month of 2023, obviously, I hope you and your loved ones remain in good/better health, and where your personal goals, hopes, dreams, ambitions, and aspirations, may you reach whatever your heart desires. YouTube ones, do me a favor, hit the like button. Any comments, opinions, etc., get them in throughout the course of however long we're here for. 5 p.m. people, Twitch gang, we're playing Football Manager and we've got a cup final. Boy, my thing is different, and we're trying to retain the retains the right word. Retain the League Cup. But yeah, man, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and of course, good night where appropriate, according to where you lot are tuned in. As I was saying, we're going to look over this Tomiyasu stuff. We're going to go over Mikel Arteta's press conference and any other questions that you lot have, or talking points, or anything in relation to Arsenal. We're going to get it covered, man. So yeah, big up you lot. And Manny, you're part of the framework and fabric of this channel. So I appreciate you tuning in. But let's jump straight into it, people, straight away. Mikel provides Tomiyasu update ahead of Luton. We are playing Luton Town tomorrow, people, and you've got to be shameless with the promotion. Do me a favor, smash the like button on this video and also smash it on that, people, because we will be doing a watch along tomorrow live from 7:15 because we kick off at 8:15. As we know, Tomiyasu has probably been our most Saliba and Rice and them kind of brothers there. Saka is moving mad, but Tomiyasu is one of the first names on the team sheet and has having a great season and has really hit a purple patch, regained his spot into the team, and he's provided a headache for Mikel Arteta. Obviously, he's never going to be the most glamorous in the final third, but he's improved in that. Even this week that's just gone, he got some assists, and it's bad news, for Zinchenko or Benjamin White, because right now Tomiyasu has to be in that team. And if Timber was fit, and we assume how he started his Arsenal career, that maintained, there's fantastic options, really and truly. Again, we need a squad. Sorry, man, you got a question here. What do you think of Arteta selling Partey in January? I'm not with it. In an ideal world, I would like to replace Partey before he necessarily needs replacing. Same way we've got Declan Rice. I would like a next one. I would like another number 8 and another 6. If you can keep Partey for another year, so we have hell of options, then I'm all for that. If you want to sell him or Ramsdale or Smith Rowe or Eddie and all of these guys in the summer, you're more than welcome to do that. But where January is concerned, I'm not a fan of tearing up the squad. I do understand Partey's on the wrong side of 30. I don't know if he has an additional option to extend his contract by 1 year. So to my knowledge, as a humble football fan, he's contracted until 2025. We've already going to commit 30 million in total for Raya. We've given 3 million already. It's 27 to make that permanent. Numerous players have signed new deals and they're in the process of signing new deals, the latest being Tomiyasu and Benjamin White. And obviously we spent a lot of money this summer, and in terms of outgoings or saving resources, Partey's probably one that's disposable. I don't think the club actively tried to push him out in the summer, but I think if there were certain offers, he might go. And I think the summer will provide an opportunity for obviously Arsenal to finally fix midfield properly and have some long-term options, which, as much as I like Partey, El Nene and Jorginho, they're all on the wrong side of 30. Not saying once someone turns 30, you need to get rid of them. And obviously Partey's on big wages. Whether you rate Kai Havertz or not, he's coming on decent money. You'd imagine Declan Rice is on a lot of money. You'd imagine Saka, Saliba, Martinelli, Martin Odegaard. These lot are drawing parity and the top earners at the club. And when you look through our team, who's really going to be sold for a decent fee per se? Ramsdale might fetch something decent. Smith Rowe not going to probably get the fee he would have got if we sold him, that season that he was bagging and really in form, but he might bring something. Obviously, where you look at actually Ramsdale, Smith Rowe, and I would probably more say Nketiah and Nelson, obviously, if you bring in certain players, we need a squad, but only a certain amount can play. Might be able to sell them and get some okay fees, but at the same time, we need to keep 7 or 8 players, I believe, for homegrown purposes. Mafia boss, appreciate you, man. So I would like Partey to stay, but if you sell him and you bring in a player that's of a similar caliber, so that I don't waffle about Partey, I'm all for it. I didn't want Xhaka to leave in the summer, regardless of if in an ideal world Partey was fit. You brought in Declan Rice and you brought in the next midfielder because I think there's something there in that regards. But as much as I think Xhaka had a great season last year and has been at times unfairly treated at Arsenal, it's not like it's a Petit or Patrick Vieira. I think we miss Xhaka because obviously he's a leader, he's a good player. You saw him in that kind of advanced position last season. But I think we personally miss him because we haven't addressed midfield. Obviously, Fabio Vieira, early doors in the season, he was looking all right, hasn't been able to maintain that. Smith Rowe hasn't been fit, so he can't throw his name into the ring. The last couple of games, in the past week that Havertz has obviously played, he's looked a lot more confident, and that's probably his best week for Arsenal fans in his early career, but he hasn't convinced. So there's a gaping hole. Declan Rice is a quality player, but I'm sure Mikel Arteta wants to change up Declan Rice, take him from what he's been doing at West Ham in an Arsenal shirt and give him some more qualities in the final third of a pitch. How much is that being kind of stopped because we haven't addressed midfield? Obviously, Jorginho's coming at times. I personally think Odegaard should play there. Basically does it in the game, or definitely did it in our last game. So it's an interesting talking point, really. But I just think Arsenal might say, you know what, 45 million. We've got our years out of Partey. He's on big money. He's in his 30s now. You need to get money. I'm sure he's going to want a decent wage. Probably a chance to just save resources, really. But again, we have to address midfield. I'm not on sell. Even in January, if you was telling me, I don't know any names, but you're bringing in Zubimendi, Douglas, Luiz, whoever in January, I might say, yeah, cool, Partey can go. But I'm not a fan of letting people go like that. And I do think when Partey is fit, he's a key player for Arsenal. Definitely, assuming this is his last season where this is concerned. But yeah, lovely. Arteta said we're assessing him, Tomiyasu, after the game. We took him off as a precaution, so we'll wait. Whether it's useful to use him or not, we'll decide tomorrow. He's a strong boy and hopefully he'll be fine. I'm not going to lie. Big up Luton because it's not going to be a walkover, but I'm sure we've got Aston Villa on Saturday. If Tomiyasu had to be fit for one of those games, I'd say he has to be that Villa Park away from home with their quality attackers. I'm not underrating Luton at all. Yes, on paper, we should be wiping the floor and running away with them. But as we know, football matches are not won on paper, people. Pardon me, Benjamin White's back fit. He said after his injury, the way we decided to manage his load, he's feeling perfect and back to fitness. He played some minutes and now he's in a good place. As we know, Smith Rowe, Timber, Fabio Vieira, Thomas Partey are not going to play tomorrow and remain on the treatment table, folks. Mikel Arteta has had his press conference, and Pep Guardiola, I don't know why you keep mentioning the manager's name. Come get your chain back. He's at the Emirates, people. Really and truly. I know if my star boy winger got pocketed by Benjamin White, Reece James, and whoever Spurs' mascot is, because they ain't even got players. Boy, you need to be fixing stuff internally rather than look at your star striker, the best player, best forward in the world, who couldn't hit a barn door yesterday and couldn't defeat a depleted Spurs side at home. Big up Postecoglou, actually. I would focus on these things. You're the big bad wolf, Pep Guardiola. You're a GOAT. Why are you mentioning us? And to be fair, I take that as a compliment because you've seen probably Pep Guardiola's language or how he refers to us change. He was very complimentary about us, kind of like, you're just bred in your bum sucking us. We don't really want to see that. Now, I wouldn't say City see us as a threat, but they see us as contenders, people. So, yeah, we've gone over Tomiyasu. We've spoken about Benjamin White. On our last 14 goals being spread across 9 players, I love that because goals should come all around the team. But I would like another number 9, and I would like Martinelli, and obviously Odegaard took a step in the right direction. You lot got double figures in the Prem last year. I need you lot to find your shooting boots. I also need another striker and continue doing what we're doing. And for me, I'm probably exaggerating, but the Wolves game was the first time that and it weren't the most delicate of low blocks. They did try and play football and stuff, but that was the first time I saw a low block. And I'm seeing us create, first time I'm seeing us this season in the Prem score early doors, but I'm seeing us create chances. I'm seeing things. So I don't know what Mikel Arteta has done on the training ground. I don't know what the players have said to themselves or done, but long may that continue. But it is nice to see goals being spread all over the team. It's really good. That means that the team has goals. They come from different places, and that makes it more unpredictable, and the players are eager to score as well. Last year, we had something very similar to that. We shared the goals in a great way, and we have to continue to do that. Saka's reached 200 appearances. It's crazy at 22 years of age, man. It feels like Saka's been here for 10 years. Really good veteran, and you know, I wouldn't say it's surprising seeing Bukayo Saka do these things he's doing, but you are still surprised by Saka. You know, even someone like me who was watching the academy knew Saka would break into the first team. If I told you that, you know, Ballon d'Or nominations, key player for club and country, double figures, PFA nomination, and all these things that Saka's doing, I couldn't see that. But yeah, you know, other fans tried to call him a left back. Our left back is doing a lot better than some of your star wingers. You know, Mister. I know he scored, and he's an Arsenal fan. He did us a favor against City, but Kulusevski. I don't want to hear noise about Anthony or anyone at Man United for that matter. You know, Jadon Sancho dared ask Bukayo Saka how many goals he's got, and since then, I don't know what Saka did to you, but he's gone from strength to strength. And you can't even eat a cheese string on club premises. But moving forward, that's not bad at his age. It's gone really fast, but it shows again the consistency and the availability he's had over the last few years. It's been tremendous that the impact that he's had in the team has been really positive. Smash the like button if you haven't, people. On our trip to Luton, Mikel Arteta has said, people, I would say it's an inspiring place. I think what they've done is remarkable with what Rob did with the team last year, the way they did it and what they transmitted as a team. We are neighbours. We're forcing it, but we're kind of our neighbours. You know, Luton's not that far from London, and we're always very close to here. So it's just an amazing story. And respectfully, it's a compact pitch. It's one of those games that if you was a foreign fan, or one of those pitches, ground stadiums, that if you was a foreign fan and you didn't watch Premier League football, it's them kind of games, you know, I'd say Crystal Palace as well, but it's them kind of grounds that I would say you need to go to really experience what the British game's about. So we know it's going to be condensed. It's going to be congested. We know they've got nothing to lose in the sense of if they beat us, you know, there's bare headlines, but if they lose, we keep it moving. So it's going to be a difficult test. And also they're fighting for their lives. We're in a privileged position to even be talking about Premier League titles and all of these things. Hudson-Odoi, boy, I don't want to hear about these names. But yeah, obviously he's gonna sing their praises. He obviously said their coach Rob Edwards is a great coach. He was quite blasé on the Pep Guardiola post-match comment, really and truly. And to be fair, I know if Arsenal behave like them City players for the second time this season, after that game against Spurs, I know Arteta somehow, Granit Xhaka's not even in the country, they'll go in jail. So it's nice to see, man. But we all know there's one rule for Arsenal and 25 for others. On Luton's position in the table, I think they're a really good team, and probably the table does not reflect what they have done in many games. The way they've lost matches or drew matches as well in 5 minutes during the final stages of games. As I say, it probably doesn't reflect that, but it's a difficult game, that's for sure. And he then said it's inspiring as well to play there. Is going to be something different. I've already discussed that with the players, but we're really positive too. That's the tradition of English football, our league. They haven't been in the league for a long time. And I think Arsenal hasn't played against them for a long time. So it's a good evening. On none of our team against Wolves being born when Arsenal last played Luton in 1991. Neither was I. I'm 28. But we are old. It's incredible the way Luton have done it, the frustrations they've had. It's an example to any club in the Premier League to give hope as well that any club is able to do something extraordinary like this. It's a beautiful story. Obviously, we know the atmosphere is going to be great. He then spoke on Saka, and I don't think the manager's lying. He said it's like watching a kid raise, get older, mature, and evolve. And he still has the same humility and willingness to get better and better and get to know the people close to him in his life and the impact they've had on him. All the academy people who have worked with him as well over the years to make him the player he is today, they have to take huge compliment on who Bukayo is today and then let him be. Bukayo's a special guy. We have him with us hopefully for many more years to come. Amen. And Lord knows, you know, we're talking about a right winger, but if Saka was in the thing or Saka played for someone else in this day and age, how much is Saka going to cost? A bit like Saliba, you know, again, when under the tenure Saliba was signed was probably negative in Arsenal's light, but that was one of the best things we did. What we signed him for anything up to 30 million. How much is he worth now? Moving forward, people, on Saka's limits. At the moment, no, because he hasn't got any limits and he wants more and the people around him want more. His teammates are having a better understanding of what he needs as well. He has coaching staff and a club that wants to push him to become better. I think it's a good context for him to keep going. Now, we all know we beat Wolves and there wasn't any problems in that regards, but Zinchenko. Now, I actually think Zinchenko's improved defensively, but when you look at West Ham in the League Cup, when you look at Fulham, when you look at Chelsea last season, Liverpool last season, Zinchenko is never going to be a great defensive player. In the same way, I don't think Tomiyasu is going to be a great attacking inverted fullback, whatever you say, even though, as I've said, they've both shown improvements. But I do think Zinchenko has shown that he's transformed our system. He gives us another gear to our game. But ultimately, if we're trying to win titles, We probably need to demote people like him. And to be honest, Gabriel Jesus into being squad rotation, important squad players, really, because there's a reason he averaged around 14, 15 starts / games in the Premier League for City, because he's got evident limitations. I think Gabriel Jesus is a fantastic player, but ultimately doesn't score enough goals. So with that, we need to take that and accept him for what he is. Using City as a guide point, there was times where obviously they're going through purple patches, they're making a difference. Their form and maybe Pep Guardiola's tactics suggest they should play, but they weren't the main guys like that. Who do you think will be the top goal scorer for Arsenal this year? My money's on Bukayo Saka, if I'm honest, and I think the bookies wouldn't pay out too much. Nketiah is inconsistent. That's the problem with him. I just don't think Nketiah is the guy like that. I do think at times fans are a bit unfair to Nketiah, but he's just not the guy really and truly. Like Jesus should be the number 2 striker or the backup option. And the thing with Eddie, again, earlier in the season, he was one of our players, players of the season. And I think his mentality is quality, but fundamentally, he's now at that stage where we need to, and it's difficult, but we need to see significant progress. I think his general play is improved. I do think he's looking more confident, but at the same time, he's really struggling for that high level of consistency. There's sometimes he comes off the bench like against Fulham at home and he's really with it. There's been a couple of times this season he's come off the bench and he's looked like he's played 2 90-minute games, the latest being on the weekend, essentially. So, yeah. But on Zinchenko, he said he's created so many chances as well. He provided a goal. This is part of football. We all make mistakes, and it's not only about that. It's about how you react on top of that. There are other things that happen after that that can be done better as well. So not at all. I hear that, and I do find it funny when Mikel Arteta is asked about Zinchenko. He says he plays in midfield. He says he's not involved in the defensive phase of the play. He talks up his creativity like he's done now. So I think Mikel Arteta kind of believes the same way we do about Zinchenko, but don't underestimate his team. I think he's a good player. On if we're better than we were at this time last year, statistically, no. I think defensively, yes. I still think there's more gears to go up in an attacking sense, but only time will tell. I don't know. It's different. The league is different as well. The level has gone another level up, not for United, and you can see it. I was watching a lot of games yesterday afternoon, and it's incredible how game state changes. That's Arteta's new buzzword, this game state thing, innit? And momentum changes in games. The quality the opponents have, the quality of the managers, it's really, really tough league, and we don't know how it's going to continue. But at the moment, we're in a good place, and tomorrow we want to be in a better place to do that. We're going to have to play really well tomorrow. He then said he doesn't think about the gap. I don't think about that. I think about how we're going to play better tomorrow and be more consistent and more difficult to beat. The things that have to tweak and how we can use our players in the best possible way to win. It's a huge marathon ahead of us. On City drawing 3 in a row, he said, encouragement, no. Encouragement comes from watching my team play and watching how we behave every single day, how hungry and willing they are to play every single game, the way they approach every single training session. That's what gives me encouragement. What others do is something we cannot control. He then said, I don't look at those things. I have enough looking at my team. Then he said, if I'm good at mind games, maybe you don't notice. Boy, there we have it, really. Jorginho has spoken, people, and told us we can make some improvements, people. He wants us to be ruthless and kill games, and I don't think he can disagree with that. Rice needs to own the mistake, not Zinchenko. I hear that because when I watched it again, but it's Zinchenko's fault. Rice is mopped up. Zinchenko's trying to play a pass that isn't there. I actually like Zinchenko a lot. I still think he can be a key player for us, but I don't like the fact that he's not strong enough 1v1, which is why I would lean towards more. Like if you put a gun to my head and it's a must-win game, I know if, depending on the game state, I know Zinchenko into midfield, attack is a form of defense if we're on the front foot. But I just feel Tomiyasu, Timber, they're a lot stronger. I disagree with the Rice comment because I do think at times Zinchenko's too smart for his own game. He got away with it several times in that game, and he's not alone. Other players did. And he got away. Sorry there, people. I think I hit the mic. Apologies for that. Oh, having mic issues again. Sorry about that, my guy. I think I'm back now. Am I still sounding crisp and comfy? Apologies for that. But as I was saying, in relation to Rice, I mean, Zinchenko, I don't think it's his fault. I think Zinchenko's trying to play a pass that 9 times out of 10 you get away with, but he didn't then. I like Zinchenko. I think he's got, high technical level. I think he's one of the smartest in terms of football IQ in the team. But, sometimes he's too smart for his own good. I don't advocate lumping it long, but I think he tried to do too much. And you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes, really and truly. We're an improved defensive side, but every player has to smell that. And he's not alone. I did think Zinchenko had more frequent moments in that regards than others, but Gabriel got away with some. A couple of our midfielders got away with some sloppy passes. I'll be real, Saliba got away with a couple, but Zinchenko had a couple of incidences, so it was probably going to be him. But nonetheless, Jorginho has said in the Premier League, the game is never finished. When you are 2-0 up, you need to finish that game. The game is not finished. You need to keep pushing all the way to have 3-4 and respect the game. It's a mindset, to be honest, because you have the game completely under control and all of a sudden you stop doing the simple things. And I do think we did that, that you need to keep doing the thing that got you there at that point. When you put yourself in trouble because every single team in the league is strong and they come out, we need to keep pushing for more, one more. I think that is the mentality that we need to have. And to be fair, as much as I think we took our foot off the gas, based on the level of chances we created and didn't convert, Eddie Nketiah, Trossard should have scored. Odegaard had a great game, but I think he should have had a couple of assists. I can't disagree with that, but I do think in my heart we took the foot off the gas and we were a bit complacent, really and truly, after we started off very well. So I think he's right. I tried to communicate a lot and tried to help my teammates with my body language and voice. I tried to help them to finish the game and win the game because the game is not finished until the referee blows the whistle. You need to keep pushing, keep fighting until the end. He then said, I think to win games, you need to first be strong defensively, which is true. Then with the quality we have in the team, we are going to score. It's something that the team is learning, how important it is to defend. When I say defend, it's not just the back line, but the whole team. Amen, Jorginho. Seeing Martinelli going back to defend and then he sprints 100 meters and hits the post on the other side. It's unbelievable. That's the mentality that we need to have, and that's the mentality that we have. Don't think anyone can disagree. And even with that, to go back to the Zinchenko point, and sometimes, listen, mistakes happen. Balls are going to get lost on the transition. This is football. And, you know, the way Odegaard, Zinchenko, all of these guys play, you're going to lose the ball at times. And you have to bail your teammates out, which Martinelli did. But that's another incident where Zinchenko was doing way too much than he needed to. And then obviously Martinelli got him out of jail. So Zinchenko said he needs to improve. It's just about balance, really. I don't think anyone's actively going out there to make mistakes. I do think old habits die hard. I do think he has improved defensively, but it's probably not to the level, really, because if this team keeps this upward trajectory, whether it's Timber or someone else, Zinchenko might not be a main player. If we get another 8, then there's maybe no need to waffle about Zinchenko inverting into midfield because we might have better creators. If we get another, if we get another striker, then Jesus might look like something. Based on the trajectory, I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon, but there might be a time where Saliba, Odegaard, or even Bukayo Saka, if their form isn't quite there, then there's players that are better than them or levels with them that can take their place, people. But I don't think anyone can disagree with Jorginho. So, yeah, we've gone over what Jorginho said, the press conference, etc. Arsenal to sacrifice Nketiah for elite striker in January transfer window, says Steve K. Now, not to throw shade, but footballtransfers.com, you seem to, you said we're getting Tchouameni and Mbappe and all these things. I don't know. I understand everyone's got to pay bills. And I'm sure if a certain offer is made for Eddie Nketiah, the club will have a decision to make. But where January is concerned, I don't know. I don't think that will be the case. I think Nketiah stays to the end of the season and then we move for a striker in the summer. Even though I would like one in January, who wouldn't? Arsenal's hunt for an elite striker in the January transfer window means that they need to sell to buy, with the club willing to listen to offers for Eddie Nketiah, allegedly. We are told that the North London club are on the borderline of FFP, and so Mikel Arteta has agreed that the academy graduate could be one that they sacrifice in order to sign their targets, each of whom is likely to cost a substantial fee, people. As we know, the 24-year-old who has previously disclosed how close he was to leaving the club could be moved on so Arsenal could sign a prolific replacement. Benjamin Sesko, Dusan Vlahovic and Ivan Toney are just 3 names that have been mentioned internally. Of this trio, Football Transfers exclusively revealed that Vlahovic is their main target. Smash the like button, people, as Stylish you has said there. So we'll have to see. And to be fair with you, you've got Trossard you can play up there, Kai Havertz you can play up there, obviously Gabriel Jesus. For me, if Gabriel Jesus isn't fit, it's Trossard, just based on what I want to see. But I do think there will be games for Trossard to play through the middle. Even though Havertz isn't clinical, there'll be games for him. And I also think there would be games for Eddie Nketiah. West Ham, Palace, Everton, Forest. Any of you lot want Nketiah 25 million quid? I wouldn't move him on unless we're bringing in a striker in Jan. I wouldn't move him on. I like him as part of the squad. I do want an elite striker, and he would have to be sacrificed. But if we're not bringing in a striker in January, I don't think there is a point really of letting Eddie go. We need bodies, and as you've seen this season, there's a whole heap of injuries galore. People are getting injured more than we can keep count. Whether players are injured or not, some are playing with not. Big up DG. When are they announcing the winner of the Football Blacklist Award? It wouldn't be winners; they'd be shortlists. And honestly, my guy, I don't know, but voting is closed. Hopefully, second time lucky we win. If not, then we've got the streets. And appreciative to anyone who bothered to vote. So yeah, people. And I mean, I think this is just a case of this article is just looking at players that are quote unquote disposable at Arsenal, which Eddie Nketiah for the right price could be one. Reece Nelson could be another. Smith Rowe could be another. Ramsdale could be another. Kieran Tierney isn't at the club, but evidently is another. Potentially El Nene and Jorginho away from the obvious. So yeah, it's a whole lot of nothing really. You know, I think it's just a case of creative journalism, if I'm completely honest. Apparently, they said we are told to that Carl Hein could be going out on loan either in January or at the end of the season. Probably does need to keep it moving. You know, I'm sure you've all seen Nick Pope is going to be out for 4 to 5 months. That's probably going to add fuel to the fire for the Ramsdale to Newcastle links, whether that makes sense or not, because the minute Pope's fit, there's going to be that question mark over in goal as well. They've also been linked with De Gea as well. I feel big up happy because you're always here. I feel we are better equipped this season and we have Partey to come back, Champions League final, anyone. When is Partey going to come back? And, you know, I'm braced for Partey to be back fit in December. And then he's off to AFCON for a month, innit, really? And to be honest, different continent. But Tomiyasu, one of our most informed players, isn't it the Asia Cup competition or something? So I don't know if Japan or in Spurs' case, South Korea are there and a bunch of Asian, you know, Wolves would lose Hwang as well. You know, we're going to lose a couple, really. In an ideal world for me, I'd like a centre mid in January or just from January to the summer, excluding all the moving parts at Arsenal Football Club. I'd like another striker. I'd like another winger. I'd probably like 2 midfielders. I'd like another defensive body, whether that's someone like Timber or Tomiyasu that can play across a couple of roles, or a centre back or a right back. And for depth purposes, and clearly we're going to have to look for a number 2 keeper, because unless a miracle happens or Ramsdale makes clear I want to stay and I want to fight for one more season for my spot, it seems that his days too will be numbered, people. Happy birthday to Trossard, who's turned 29 allegedly today. Arsenal have been linked with Fulham midfielder Joao Palhinha. Apparently he's a transfer target for Arsenal, but it would be more likely to be a summer one. Now, I don't care about his age. He's like 28, 29, but there doesn't appear that there's going to be too much longevity in that regards with Paulinho. What fee are they going to seek? Because Fulham have given him a new deal. He seemed very close to going to Bayern Munich. I don't know between next summer and in January if they'll spin the block. I mean, he's Premier League proven. He's a good player. Give us another dimension. I think he's a good player, but I don't really buy that. I'm sure there's admiration and there might be a willingness to do the deal. I don't know if he's first choice or where he would score on the shortlist, but yeah, Eddie should leave, but no way I see this happening in Jan. Can we be smart and utilize the loan market? I mean, January is a reactive window, so you have to consider that essentially. But who is available on loan is what I would say. Like, bro, this Amazon mic can't come quick enough, man. I keep hitting it. Let's move it. Alone. But yeah, carrying on stuff. Paulinho will want 90. I think you mean Fulham will want 90 plus. I mean, whatever. Fulham probably will give Bayern Munich a discount, not that they need it, and won't give us one purely because they know we got bread, essentially. But yeah, we could utilize the low market, but the problem is who is available. Moving away, people. Fabrizio Romano has weighed in on Kyrgios to AC Milan. It seems like those rumors will not go away despite joining us. In this January of 2023, really. A year later, it could be set for a move. AC Milan will sign a new centre back in 2024, and Arsenal's Jakub Kyrgios is one of the names on their list. The problem is the Gunners are currently not keen on letting him go on loan, and Milan can only proceed with a loan deal. That's why they're considering other targets. It don't make no sense to be letting him go in Jan. We need him for the squad, regardless of if he wants to play more football. Football Insider said Arsenal will sign a new midfielder. Arsenal decided they'll sign a new defensive midfielder in 2024, and a deal will happen, sources have told Football Insider. It's believed the Gunners will endeavour to boost their midfield options in the upcoming January window, but are willing to wait until the summer for the right player. Their desire to sign a new option comes despite spending a club record 105 million on England star Declan Rice just months ago. We all know Partey's been injured. In fact, Jorginho's had a couple. We all know we've got an admiration for Douglas Luiz, but he's under contract until 2026. They're flying high, and this mid-season, it probably is not going to happen for a fee that Arsenal would like it to happen for, people. Arsenal are ready to make 2 midfield signings in January, allegedly. Edu ready to make Arsenal bid for Arthur Vermeeren. It can be a case of 2 in, 2 out at Arsenal in January, with the Gunners looking to sign 2 promising midfielders to bolster their ranks. Mikel Arteta's side are riding high at the top of the Premier League. I never knew that. And have a 2-point buffer to Liverpool at the summit, with champions Man City a further point adrift after no wins in 3. That would be great if it was a couple of games left in May. We're in December. So yeah, we all know we want to sign a midfielder. El Nene could be allowed to depart. Interestingly, this says a move to Saudi Arabia could be one. It also has linked us with the 18-year-old Belgium international Arthur Vermeeren, who us and Barca have been linked with allegedly as a 20 million euros price tag, 17.1 million pounds price tag. So we'll have to see. And apparently we're looking for Brazilian sensation, as it says here, Gabriel Carvalho. Allegedly he's 16, never seen him in my life. So yeah, but he's Brazilian. Edu, do your scouting. He's 16. He can't move until he's 18. I don't see us spending that in January when there's priorities for today. But if it's a long-term target, why not bring him to the club if he's got something to show? Again, we've been linked with Osimhen. Apparently, he's on the verge of signing a new deal at Napoli, allegedly. Their president said, for Osimhen, we're about to sign the contract that has been pending since the summer. Apparently, a move could still happen, but unless there's an actual concrete relegation release clause, it probably makes that a myth, people. And I've covered that in a video that came out last night, people, early in the hours of this morning. So go and check that out. Ruben Neves has poured cold water on a move away from Arsenal Football Club, well, to Arsenal Football Club, and a move away from Saudi. He said, I don't go. I think that's rumours because of the owners of the club, of course, because I've played in England as well. I mean, Stylish spoke about the loan market. Prior to him saying this, Ruben Neves on loan, depending on the makeup and breakdown of the deal, could have been something that appealed to Mikel Arteta, really. There was Newcastle interest before I came here, but I'm really happy. My family is really happy, so I'm having a great time. Everything is going really well. I want to stay here, so that probably pours cold water on that. You know, Ivan Toney's manager, Thomas Frank, said he wants to keep him. Arsenal are set to sell 3 players in the summer. Thomas Partey's name still persists with links. Who else is going to leave, really and truly, in that regards? Kirio, Jorginho, these guys have been linked with moves, but it doesn't make sense. This article has also said our interest remains in Pedro Neto, who's currently valued at 60 million. We just saw that apparently Vlahovic is the main target. This article has said Ivan Toney's the main target. So it's essentially guesswork, people. Everyone just being creative. Now, there's no reason for me to mention Mike McGann. He's currently in contract talks with AC Milan. Apparently, he could be available for 70 million euros. I like Ramsdale. I like Raya. But the jury's still out on whether Raya can show that he's the number one, if he's actually significantly better than Ramsdale. And I always say, if I'm not comparing him to Alisson, but when Liverpool brought in Alisson, he significantly uptaked it. Having basically committed 30 million for Raya, I can't see us sign another keeper, but just to keep pushing the agenda that, could you argue that, Raya and Ramsdale are both not it? Sign a keeper that's better than them. I don't know. I'm just playing devil's advocate, people. That's the number of yellow cards in the Prem. As you can see, Kai Havertz is treading a fine line, people, because one more, he's going to have to sit down for a while, really. And we're probably going to need you against Aston Villa to help see out the game if it goes our way. So there you have that. Aston Villa are still linked with Emil Smith-Rowe, but apparently he's determined to continue to try and fight for his Arsenal future and make an impression under Mikel Arteta. As we've seen in The Athletic, both Benjamin White and Tomiyasu are in talks to sign new Arsenal deals and probably will get more reward in wages. We've gone over that. We've gone over that. We've gone over that. We've gone over that. We're getting through it, people. We've gone over that. 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 Gone over that. That, and that, folks. And don't forget, people, we will be doing a watch along for Luton versus Arsenal tomorrow. Hope to see you lot all there, and appreciative for you lot tuned in. I mean, I think we've gone over this Kirio stuff. They've also been linked with Chelsea's Benoit Balchile, Lloyd Kelly of Bournemouth. So again, naturally, if you're AC Milan, you're probably looking at, who you can bring in. And as we know, January is a reactive market. In an ideal world, no one would want to buy or sell. Some players might not be happy with their first team football. Some players, in a year like this where there's a Euros, you might need to leave on loan or permanently to boost your chances. Managerial changes could spark someone. So maybe, they've said, what, we know Kirio from when he played in Italy. We know all about him. We know he can play in this league. He's not really playing at Arsenal. He's got Zinchenko, Tomiyasu, and Timber all in front of him at left back. It's just Gabriel and Saliba, the centre halves. Yeah, there's games for you to get at Arsenal and you've just signed, but yeah, it might have to be a bit patient. So with that being said, that appears to be everything, folks, essentially. I hope we do beat Luton 3-0, man. I wouldn't be against what you're doing, DG. I hear that. Arsenal should keep Partey to the end of the season. I'm with that. I think Tomiyasu is fit, but whether we risk him against Luton or Aston Villa, I'm not sure. We definitely need a defender. We've been short since the start of last season. We let Holding go and didn't bring anyone in. And I only feel that really, on the face of it, I thought we had enough defensively. But with obviously Tomiyasu having a couple of knocks, Timber having a couple of knocks, a knock, Benjamin White now having to sit down. You're playing a dangerous game with Saliba, and as we've seen already, if Saliba's out, we're in trouble. I do, in an ideal world, I would like someone cut from the Tomiyasu and timber cloth in that you can play left back, right back, centre half. Mikel Arteta is free to do what he wants with you. But if you can't sign that and you can find, you know, a fullback that can play on the left or the right and another centre half, I'm all for that. That's probably why, you know, the links to Sporting Lisbon's Diamande don't go away. We'd all love killing Mbappe, but dream chasing, man. That's firmly dream chasing. But the dream is free. The Arsenal is sold separately. I wouldn't mind another centre back, but I don't know where it would be because Diamande is someone that we were scouting before he moved to Sporting, and he's playing week in, week out. And obviously, with his age, with his ability, he ties into the squad. But Gabriel and Saliba have a great partnership. It's not like when Manchester City had Laporte and all them great options. Nobody's getting ahead of that at this moment in time. So if you're a young centre-back, would you really want to sign for Arsenal if you know you're not necessarily going to play? It's a bit like Guehi. Yes, I'm sure if Arsenal gave what Palace wanted, I think he'd listen. I think he'd be enticed. I think he'd back himself. But we probably need to be a bit cute and clever. As I said at the start, if you could bring in some more defensive reinforcements, if we can start to look for a number 2 goalie, if we can sign anything from 1 to 2 to 3 central midfielders, I think everybody would agree what might differ for the winger or the striker profile you want, but I think every Arsenal fan wants a striker or a winger brought into this club, at least for the start of 2023-24 season, because I don't know if these things happen in January. Even Saka cover as well. I know we got Reece, but he's also injury prone. Another one who picks up knocks. I like Reece Nelson, but you want to bring someone in who's levels with Saka in an ideal world, or in an ideal world better than him, or someone that isn't far away. Or forgive me, Reece Nelson, because I like you a lot, but someone that's more of a game changer. And that's why I would like Pedro Neto. When you think of Neto, you think, yo, you can fight Saka for his place / be depth. Before his injury at Wolves, and we're quite fortunate. Well, we have to play them at the Molineux, but he's injured. He's shown he can play on the left. And obviously, I'm not saying to get rid of Trossard, but Trossard is 29. How long is he going to be at this football club? Someone like a Pedro Neto, and, you know, I guess, you know, Osimhen and Vlahovic, they're on the right side in terms of ages as well. Diamande wouldn't be against, but could play 6, but I don't know about him. Plus, are we really paying a 60 million release clause in Jan? I think, again, that's one you have to chat to them in the summer about. Arsenal need to score more goals according to the table. I think according to the fans, we need a midfielder, a defender, the most. Diamande, even though he's raw, get him in. I would love him. I disagree though. I think midfield keeps me up at night. I do think we need defenders, and I do think we're a bit short and we're playing a dangerous game. But I can kind of sleep easy up front. As I just said, we'd all like another winger and striker. And for all the criticisms or praises for the Eddie Nketiahs, the Reece Nelsons, the Bukayo Sakas, the Martinellis, Trossard, and any other player I've missed out there, we can kind of maneuver. Midfield, boy, Partey's not there. God forbid anything happens to Declan Rice, is peak. You know, we're in trouble. I like Jorginho. I like El Nene. But are they guys that I can bet on for the majority of the season? I don't know. I prefer Jorginho in certain games and to help us close out games. And I think, again, with Arsenal, we fall into this trap in that it's not that we don't utilize our squad well, but it's like we take guys that are good squad players and then we try and make them first team regulars. And ultimately, when they fall short, whether that's the longevity and consistency of performance, the ability to score enough goals or defend amicably, we look around surprised. Would Arsenal sign Neto again? Neto, Douglas Luiz, in my opinion, Ivan Toney, Vlahovic, all these movie signings, for me, they're in the summer. Obviously, if you put the money down in January, things can happen. But I think, you know, the summer is when you do them things, or scout alternatives, really, if I'm honest with you. Personally, we need 2 midfielders, a defender, a winger, striker, another goalkeeper still on the long road. In midfield, would love it if we could get Douglas Luiz. For me, perfect replacement for Partey. I'm having Douglas Luiz, but Villa rightly so are going to price him out of a move. And where you look at Palhinha, where you look at Douglas Luiz, what doesn't help Arsenal if they genuinely want to sign these players is that they both signed new deals recently for their clubs, really. So we'll have to see, man. But if there was one position I need us to address and I won't be happy with if we don't address in January, it has to be central midfield. I think we're playing a very dangerous game. You know, I don't want to see Partey injured, but we're lucky we got Declan Rice, because you don't know, we'd be waffling about the lack of physical presence in midfield and a tenacious approach in that regards that Declan Rice, on top of all his other qualities, gives us. How is Cedric still here? At this point, I said I rate Cedric. I rate it. Mikel Arteta has transformed this club. You know, Tierney's gone. Ramsdale's days look numbered. Smith Rowe's not a thing like that. Rumours over Partey. Gabriel temporarily got dropped. Cedric is still out here shining and profiling and getting paid. And every now and again, he's popping up on the bench and stuff. The wickedest thing is, God forgive me, there might be a reality where we're going to have to draw for Cedric and start games. And I don't blame him. You want to play at Arsenal. You're clearly happy in London. That's why you went on loan to Fulham. You're probably going to get your loyalty bonus for fulfilling your contract when it runs out. you clearly like the team. You know, I do think Mikel Arteta made it clear to you, bro, you're not going to get games, but I don't think he shut the door and said, no, you need to leave today. So I think from a lifestyle point of view, he's comfy, he's cozy, and, you know, them kind of signings there when, you know, when Arteta signed them kind of players, it didn't bang. You know, the stopgap signings that we were trying to do, the little short-term thing kind of tick us over. It didn't. Marie didn't bang. Cedric didn't bang. Willian sure as hell didn't bang. Boy, and as much as I think Arteta's brought in some good signings, boy, there's a couple of L's there. Lokonga is not really the same kind of thing, but Lokonga, Tavares, Jury is still out on Fabio Vieira, even though I won't quite throw him in with them kind of wolves there. But you get the point, man. I have to respect Cedric, if I'm honest. I respect it. Like, I would love it if, you know, if there was an assurance that we're going to sell Eddie Nketiah and bring in Sesko, get it done. I would love a Sesko or Ivan Ferguson. I think we need to be patient. They're kind of young, but well, Sesko's probably cheaper, but they're going to cost big, bad bucks. Cedric has the life we all want at Arsenal, training, getting paid 100k. Bro, if Cedric's on 100 bags, never give up on your dreams, man. He joins in with Sancho, getting paid for nothing. When Cedric bagged on his debut against Norwich, I thought we hit the money. This youth needs to come out of my football club. I knew it was a Bandilu signing, if I'm honest, man. But at this point, it's not the same, but I look at Cedric in the way I look at Kai Havertz. Like, you didn't sign yourself. Like, I can't hate the grind. I can't hate the hustle, man. We got the Egyptian El Messi in the 6 for cover. We have to sign a midfielder, and then Partey are going AFCON, and we need to start looking at a long-term replacements as well. There you have it. Got to make yourself useful. I respect it. Donny is collecting cones and getting the tactics board for the coaches. Cedric, I take him out of. He's even said, Gaffer, if the 21s Gaffer needs me to play, I'm an experienced head. He's played for the under 21s as well. And I'm sure there's a bag of experience. And I'm also sure, I could be lying, but I'm sure, you know, when Xhaka was here, he was doing his coaching badges. Rob Holding the same. El Nene the same. I'm sure Cedric is doing his coaching badges if he hasn't got it already. Now, I'm not comparing him to Havertz. Havertz has actually done way more useful things than Cedric has in an Arsenal shirt, if I'm honest. But in the sense of, if it was up to me, you wouldn't be at the club. Like, and I can't hate it. I can't hate it. I have to, as much as I love Arteta, I have to look at you and say, boy, what's going on there? Cedric is a Ric Flair style and styling and profiling. I have to respect it. Plus, El Nene and Jorginho may leave in the winter. I don't think they leave in the winter, if I'm honest with you. But come next season, if they want to stay and, you know, hang around like spare parts and give us even more depth to the point where we forget they're at the club, I'm all for that. But we need players to that, you know, if let's just assume Partey stayed and Rice is there and other guys there, there's other guys before we talk about El Nene and Jorginho. And I really like Jorginho. You've been a better signing than people have given you credit for. But I just feel with Jorginho, he'll give you good games like I'm sure he has against Newcastle and City. But when it's them Spurs games where it's up in air, Jorginho's greatest strength is his greatest weakness, that he's a bit, he don't panic in possession. And you saw him get dispossessed. And you look at the first half, at Chelsea away, when we played them at Stamford Bridge, it was either going to be at halftime Jorginho or Zinchenko coming off, because we're not strong enough on the transition with those players. I'm not criticizing them. It's just a cold-hearted fact, if I'm honest. And Zinchenko, rightly so, had to come off in that game card. They were just trying to pressure him, if I'm completely honest. Speaking of right wingers, anyone who plays Football Manager and just been watching Premier League in real life, I'm sure you'd all take a look on I can't say his name, but Rooney Brijani. I like him a lot. Bring him to the carpet. Romano has said he's got new agents, by the way, but apparently he's under contract until December 2025. Short deal, making it an opportunity. Bayern Leverkusen, Juventus, Barca, and Chelsea scouts have been tracking him, and probably a bunch of other clubs that haven't been name checked by Fabrizio Romano there. So there we have it in that regards, people. But obviously, I'm going live at 5 p.m. on Twitch, people. Join me if you care about Football Manager. We've got a cup final. Tomorrow, again, we probably go live in the morning. But yeah, tomorrow we're watching Luton versus Arsenal. So yeah, and check out the other videos I've done. I'm going to love and leave you lot. It's been a fantastic 44 minutes answering your questions, hearing your points of view, going through what is concerned with the club we support. If you don't support Arsenal, big up yourselves. But yeah, man, you lot keep having a good Monday. And let me let you lot leave out of here, man. Leave a like, leave a comment under the comment section. Stay blessed, stay safe. And as I always say, you know, Mikel Arteta might not be Zinchenko, but if you're looking for a fullback, say what you want. I ain't never seen Zinchenko do this. First time, you know.
There's always just that active red flag, defending. I think it's like